CavalieraTHLEAN-X.com. It's Memorial Day, and we're celebrating and commemorating those that have served our country by serving you up one hard-ass workout. We're going with a heavy lower body, calisthenics, upper body, and conditioning workout all rolled into one straight from our Special Tactics program. This program was designed to take military physical readiness exam testing to a whole new level, to fill in the gaps of what I felt was missing from current physical readiness exam prep testing. I hope you guys find this valuable. Again, straight from the program. You'll be able to learn more about Special Tactics over at ATHLEAN-X.com, but in the meantime, give this one a shot. All right, let's kick off week 2 now. Let's bring up the energy you're going to need to make sure that you bring it, because this workout is going to be even a little bit tougher than the last one. We're doing it again as a lower body strength focus, so heavy weights here, 4 sets to failure, 5 to 6 rep max. We got our upper body calisthenics, a couple new exercises, or at least one new exercise in here for everybody. And then we've got to start with our gut check-in. Today is a classic military endurance test, muscle endurance test, the flexed arm hang. We got to do it for a minute, 10 seconds. Now, again, I told you, the numbers I'm picking here, those are good numbers. That is the top score that they're looking for in the military test here. They're looking for a 1 minute and 10 second flexed arm hang. So I'm going to set that as the standard here. We got to make sure that this is what you're pushing towards. You may not get it, but at least if in your head you have this goal, you're going to be pushing to try to get there, and that's what we want. If you don't make it, we'll have some things for you to do at the end. Now, the flexed arm hang first, let's just go through it and demonstrate it. We have a way that we do it that's a little bit different than military standards, okay? Military standards says that when you do the flexed arm hang, you can go either overhand or underhand. We like to go overhand here for it. And you're gonna get your chin up over the bar, okay? Again, it's okay if you go underhand, that's fine. You come up over the top, chin up over the bar. But the key difference here is that the military allows you to continue to count this test until your arm is straight. So this is still okay, and this is still okay, and this is still okay, and even that's still okay. It's until your arms go all the way straight that they disqualify you. We disqualify you when your chin goes below the bar. So if you're up here, and then as soon as you start to get down here, I mean, if your chin dips, that's okay, but if it comes down to here, you're out. We're no longer counting that. But it's good because we're gonna apply that when we get into the end of our workout here in our punishment phase. We're gonna sort of apply the standards to what we're doing. Well, let's get there in a second. So we have our lower body strength, barbell squats, alternate dumbbell reverse lunges, barbell hip thrusts. We're not recreating the wheel here, guys. We're not reinventing anything. These are classic strength training exercises. Barbell squats, we know. We don't have to demonstrate those. Alternate dumbbell reverse lunges. I've covered the value of a reverse lunge, especially as it relates to people that have knee discomfort when they do regular lunges. Why? Well, we talked about in the video before, our YouTube video, that when you step out in a regular lunge, your knee is in an open chain position. Again, it's not a bad exercise. It's just for people that have knee problems, this can become troublesome. They step out in an open chain position, there's a little bit of stretch eccentrically on the quad as it is already. Then when they land, there's a lot of force that goes into that anterior knee that could cause some problems. But if we keep our foot in a closed chain position, so we're still looking at that front leg, it's already closed chain, meaning it's in contact with the ground. If I step back, now it stays closed chain and I come up. I'm also not directing all that force forward, I'm directing the force backwards and away from it. And then lastly, because I get a little bit more hip flexion here, 1/4 of the quad muscles, the rectus will actually be a little bit more on slack when we're down in a more flexed hip position as we are here in a reverse lunge, so we'll get a little less strain across the kneecap. So we just do the reverse lunge. We step backwards, we come back out of it. Okay, each leg here taken through to 5 to 6 rep failure. Then we got our barbell hip thrust, and it's kind of going back to that whole position we were in where I demonstrated how to do a floor press with a bench press. Well, now we're just doing the first part of it. Again, get back into this position here, and the key of this exercise is just finding the right placement. There's 2 real big keys. The placement should be right in the crease of your hip. So how do you find that? Let's say the bar is too far down. Just lift your knees up. If you lift your knees up off the floor, it will roll it right into that crease that it needs to be in. Secondly, once it's there, take your hands and push away.
Don't let it just sit right down into your pelvis. That can become a little bit uncomfortable. Push it forward into your thighs. Now, when I lift up, it's not resting on my bones, it's resting on my muscles, so I don't really feel any pain. So when we do the hip thrust, we push in that way, and then we just push up, drive up through our hips. Okay, I also like to dig my heels in when I press, not going flat-footed, because I can activate my hamstrings more in addition to my glutes. So there's our heavy work. Now for our light work, upper body. So we've got assisted chin-ups, and I'll show you how to do those. Last time I just discussed them, now I'll show you how. If you can fail between 15 and 20 without, then don't use the assistance. But if you're somebody that does 7 reps, 8 reps, 9 reps, usually, then you're gonna need some help. Just take a band out. Right, this is one of our ATHLEAN-X extreme bands here. You wrap it around the bar and then put it through itself. So take this side of it, put it through here, and pull, okay? Now when it's here, you're gonna pull down, step into the band, come up, and now we just unweighted our body here by about 40 pounds, okay? So now it allows you to get to 15 to 20 if you're already struggling to get there in the first place. And with this being the light focus, we're not looking to really tax your upper body. Secondly, we've got the new exercise, archers. Archers is a push-up, sort of a push-up hybrid exercise. So you come down here, hands will go out wide to here, okay? You're gonna slide to one side until your arm is straight, and then you're gonna push yourself back to the other side until that arm is straight. You gotta get up into a push-up position now. So up here, so you slide, straight, straight. Try to point your fingers at the end. Now it looks like a tough exercise. It's definitely not easy, but it's a bodyweight movement. It is a calisthenic. It's not gonna overload you too much. But if it is, if you can't even do the movement, just do it on your knees. So if you look at it this way, you drop down, you're here, and then slide out that way. Okay? Finally, we've got, lastly, our rear delt iron cross. This is one of those underappreciated exercises. It really targets one of the areas that we don't tend to target enough. Not just the rear delts, but also rhomboids, upper, middle, back. So you're working on that entire upper posterior chain. You get in here. I said to bend knees as needed to reach your rep goal. So if you start out with your legs out straight, you're gonna be arms out and down, push up, push down and through the floor, and lift your upper back off the floor. Okay, you can probably see here, the posterior delt does a lot of work to try to accomplish this. If you saw my upper back at the moment, it would be really under tension. Now, if I need to use my knees to help a little bit, then I could do that. I can walk them in and press. But here, you want to hold about a 2 to 3 second contraction to really make sure and establish that posterior delt activation. And what do we got for conditioning? Well, I told you guys, we're gonna slowly increase this as we go. Today, an additional 1 mile now, up from a half a mile last week. Now we're up to a total mile at the end of your workout. As far as your grinder or your punishment for the flexed arm hang, today we're not gonna change much at all, except for the fact that we're gonna still do the same exercise and we're gonna still scale the amount of punishment based on how far away you were from the original goal. But now we're gonna allow you to stay in that exaggerated flexed arm position. So before it was chin over bar was the only thing that mattered. Now we're gonna make you do it again and maybe even add some time depending upon how far away you were from that goal. But you're gonna be allowed to do it with some semblance of a flexed arm. So as long as you've still got something going, you're allowed to continue to count your time. And if you can make it through that, then again, good job. The point is, again, not punishment, improvement. Do it at the end of your workout, one more shot, give it your best, and then turn the page however you do, and we'll move on to the next workout tomorrow, which is yet another burst training workout, another special tactics. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Air raid is coming up. Good job, guys. See you back here in just probably a few hours. Welcome to ATHLEAN-X Special Tactics. If you're preparing for a physical readiness exam, be it for the military, the fire department, or the police department, then this is the training that you want to use. If you're not, and you're just trying to be a bigger, faster, stronger version of yourself, or a general badass, then ATHLEAN-X Special Tactics is for you as well. Guys, get ready for some action.